line.
The lawless line.
So you have Indonesia, you have Australia, right? You have Bali, you have the Philippines, and then there's Australia. There's an invisible line between these islands that for some reason animals cannot cross. Marine biologists have no idea. Biologists have no clue why. There's only like a 20-mile difference. On this side, on the Asian side, you have tigers, elephants, monkeys, all these types of things. But then 20 miles over, you have animals that
completely different species.
are completely different species. You have marsupials like kangaroos and koalas, and then you have dingoes.
They've never observed those animals crossing over.
Even the fish will not cross over this invisible line within the ocean. Birds will not fly to the other side. It's just a border that animals instinctively just don't cross for some unknown
I
reason.
wonder if it's like a gravitational force or something.
But it'd have to be something we can't measure.
Yeah.
Because you know they're trying to figure that out. They'd find gravity or energy.
And why animals are the
If
only
you
things
push
that
me
don't
away, I
cross.
promise you, you won't find me where you left me. My heart's big, but not big enough to keep people who only love me when it's convenient. I'm not a second option. I'm not someone you come back to when it's safe. If you walk away, stay gone. Don't return. Because while you're out there confused, I'm out here healing. I used to wait. I used to hope. But now I match effort. I protect my peace. And I don't chase anyone who treats me like I'm replaceable. So if you push me away, don't be surprised when you come back and find a version of me healed. A version of me that doesn't need you anymore. Eventually, you learn losing people isn't a loss. It's freedom. I don't hate you. I'm just done fighting for a spot with someone who never fought.
Yes, sir.
So it turns out Warren Buffett was right the whole time. Who would have thought the greatest investor of all time would have nailed this, right? So he's been sitting on over $300 billion of cash for quite some time now. He's been selling Apple stock, which now is down 30% from all-time highs. And he's in a bunch of energy stocks, defensive stocks. You guys know this, right?
The most dangerous food for the liver is not sugar, it's not processed meat, and it's not saturated fat. Or you might not find it when you need it. It's highly processed, and it has residues of something called hexane, which is in gasoline. It's rancid, oxidized, and acts like something that can rust out your organs. The last thing you want to do is rust out your liver. It takes 1 to 2 years to leave the body. The more you cook with it, the more oxidized it becomes. The more it creates byproducts that are very toxic to your tissues. The most dangerous food for the liver is unsaturated fat, as in seed oils. They're industrial oils. Seed oils create inflammation, which turns into scar tissue or fibrosis. Seed oils get lodged into our tissues, not just in our liver, but all over our nervous system, even in our brains. Think about it. How can such a delicate, fragile, unsaturated fat, easily destroyed by oxygen, light, and heat, be considered safe for cooking? They take soybeans, corn, and other seeds, then add chemicals to extract the oil. After that, they add even more chemicals to remove what's left using high heat. Then they put it in bottles that are exposed to oxygen, not refrigerated. Stop consuming these seed oils. Replace corn oil, soy oil, cottonseed oil, and canola oil with olive oil, butter, tallow, and coconut oil.
Events and people to come out the way you want. You just let that go. And when something does happen, well, a hurdle pops up in front of you, it's okay. You just deal with it, however you can, and you just go on. You know, you accept it. You don't get upset with it. Oh no, I didn't want that. You know, it just happens, and you go on. Well, your life becomes magic, and the other end of this is a thing they call synchronicity, which is where things just happen, just as you need them, just when you want them, and you go from nothing ever happens to me. You know, that's. I don't have any synchronicity. The only things that are synchronicity to me are the things that get in my way. I got new hurdles to get over. But you'll go to that to just the opposite. There are no hurdles anymore. Everything just works well. And I got to that point, I don't know, sometime probably in the late 20s, early 30s, where I realized that when you don't try to control anything, you don't have to control anything. It all just works out.
When you smoke weed, it doesn't create new emotions inside you. Instead, it amplifies the ones already living in your brain. The mind that usually thinks deeply suddenly dives even deeper. The one carrying anxiety feels it magnified, almost exposed. And the person who's already joyful, they end up laughing without control. It's like your brain turns up the volume on whatever frequency you're already tuned into. That's why the experience never feels the same for everyone. It adapts to the state of mind you bring into it. Weed doesn't really change who you are. It's more like holding holding up a psychological mirror. Every hidden corner of your mind, every suppressed feeling suddenly comes into the light. It strips away the filters you usually hide behind, leaving nothing but the raw version of you. It reflects what's already hidden in your neural pathways, the thoughts, the moods, the truths you carry beneath the surface. That's why for some it feels liberating, and for others it feels overwhelming. Whether you're ready to face it or not, it uncovers you.
This is a normal water cymatic like this guy here, but do you see what shape it's making? The frequency is making a moving double molecular bond symmetry with a cymatic pattern. The geometry of a frequency can organize matter like the oil in the water here, so every type of DNA can be expressed using a cymatic glyph. So you can clearly see where the oil sits in those little nodes there. If you look closer, you'll see the lines that trace the cymatic pattern. They're created by these LEDs that are fixed to the end of a camera when they take the picture. You see the light bending over the pattern of the water, but if you change the color of the LEDs, the frequency literally weaves the light together into the entire pattern. This is crazy, because researchers have acoustically shaped DNA to create programmable materials. All they used was piezoelectricity and sound. Scale that up to a cell. If you read the resonance of a cell using a cymoscope, its health is determined by its symmetry. If something's wrong, the shapes are off. Plants. Not only do flowers mirror cymatic patterns, gene expression and water are two of the biggest factors in the symmetry of the flower. There's a ton of research on music and frequency affecting plant growth. And as you can see here, the water carries the frequency. Craziest thing about this whole video, go to the description of this video. It says that frequency is 528 hertz. That's the same frequency in this experiment. It's like the biology is crystallizing the form of the cymatic in matter. And depending on how well the DNA resonates will determine how perfect the form is expressed. Research on this is still in its infancy, obviously. Would that not be the most insane thing ever, to simulate a pattern and then see how it's expressed in a turtle shell or in a cheetah's fur? Could we change it? Is the reason why we see these patterns so much in ancient architecture because their science developed along this type of a path. It's literally the Wild West right now. It's open for discovery. But that's why I'm addicted to showing you this stuff. Ready to go a little deeper? I made a 20-minute video covering the history, science, mechanics, application of cymatics along with my latest research. 60% off for this week because I need a haircut. Until we cymatically figure out how to do that.
To attract something into your life, you actually need to change your state. When you're living in a state of I wish, I need, I want, you're basically telling the universe that you are not someone deserving of that thing. And when you start to I want to I have, your whole entire energy, your being changes when you change, when you're chasing a dog and you're trying to get your dog to come back to you and you're like, come here, and you're chasing him, he thinks it's a game, so he's gonna be running around. Until you decide to flip the switch and you know what? I'm gonna run the opposite direction. And then they start chasing you. God kind of makes everything applicable to everything. Like there's metaphors, analogies, and lessons, and you think about this with humans as well. So if you don't have something, maybe you should take a step back and ask yourself, maybe I've been trying too hard. Maybe I just need to let go and let God and become better myself and become someone worthy of having that, and it'll probably just work its way to you. That's the whole law of attraction.
Science shows that your brain and your best friend's brain sync together like Wi-Fi. It's called neurosynchrony, and it explains why you can finish each other's sentences and why you laugh at the same weird stuff. See, close friends actually develop similar brainwave patterns, and in brain scans, best friends showed synchronized activity in areas of emotion, decision-making, and even empathy. It shows why you and your best friend are such weirdos together. But it also proves that you should choose your circle wisely, because your brain is downloading who they are.
Exercise called Get Quiet at CIA. And in a Get Quiet exercise, all you do is just get quiet. You stop overwhelming your sensatory organs, your eyes, your ears, your feelings, your taste buds. You get yourself into a place where your sensory organs can take a break. Because what happens when you don't overload your sensory organs is your brain starts to index. And when your brain starts to index, it gives you a higher level of awareness, a higher level of observational skills. Especially before you go into an area where you want to make observations, you want to quiet your sensory organs so that you can go in with fresh sensory organs. It's kind of like cleaning your palate before you try a certain ice cream. The reason that we do that is because we want to gain as much perspective information as possible so that we have the informational advantage going into any situation.
Trigger warning, if this image of a woman about to be hung by a tree starts playing, close your phone immediately, as not only are people's eyes burning, but what they will see will be etched into their nightmares. People were terrified after a video was made of a displaced farmer named Qisma Ali Omar having her last days, after Sudan officials at the RSF bounded her arms, hung her on a tree, and started mutilating her while laughing. And these cases are becoming more and more frequent. The scene-calling video shows her being hurt multiple times by a steel rod while she starts screaming, to then the officials starting to essay her, and when the officials shut the camera off, he proceeded to end her life, with the video even showing the man being very proud of himself over what he's done. And many are saying Qisma's piercing screams and the man's chilling laughs will now haunt them in their sleep forever. But it gets much worse, as this is not the only case of this, but the UN reports the RSF has committed to hurting, starving, denying medical care, essay, and ending lives completely of girls sometimes as young as 12.
Oh my goodness.
Violence against women is being used as a weapon of war in Sudan.
Media outlets seized on the possible hostile label, warning that November could bring humanity's first contact or first confrontation with extraterrestrial intelligence. Sub-headlines already framing it as an alien invasion countdown. But on the flip side of this, Jeremy Corbell, a well-known filmmaker and investigator of government UFO secrecy, said that the government's story on this is nothing short of a big lie. Let's go ahead and check this out. He's awesome.
So UFOs are real, and they've been here a long time.
Good way to start.
That's true. But the lie is all indications, like all of them, is that lie is going to be there's a crowd slowly making its way to us.
Speaking of aliens, take a look at this photo. It was taken in Nevada, a place already famous for strange skies and UFO sightings. The witness said they were just outside when they noticed something unusual and decided to snap a picture. What they captured was this massive flat cloud sitting all alone in the sky. It was the only one out there. Now, to some people, this is simply a rare weather phenomenon. Clouds can sometimes take on weird shapes when conditions are just right. But others are not convinced at all. They believe this could be something far more mysterious, like a cloaked alien mothership using the cloud as a cover. And when you think about it, the location makes it even more eerie. Nevada has always been tied to UFO stories, secret government testing grounds, and unexplained sightings. Standing there under a sky so empty except for that one massive cloud must have felt unsettling, like something was watching from above. Do we trust robots? I know some of you would say that they're totally fine and all, but this Tesla bot may just prove you wrong. In the clip, we see a man playing rock, paper, scissors with the bot. Initially, the bot asks him to explain the rules since it doesn't know the game. The man is initially surprised since he'd seen the bot playing it earlier. After explaining the rules to the bot, they start playing, and the robot consistently beats him. He asks how it knows what it's doing if it couldn't play, and the robot confesses. He knew the rules all along, he just needed the man to tell him again so he could scan facial expressions and predict his movement. So basically, we have these robots manipulating us for their own gain. Sounds cute and harmless, right?
Alright, Tesla bot, come over here, it's time for a break. Yeah, let's play a game. Rock, paper, scissors.
Alright, explain me the rules.
Explain you the rules? What do you mean? I'm pretty sure I saw you playing this with Kim K.
No, it was probably my cousin or something.
Was your cousins? Alright, anyway. So you have rocks, beat scissors, then scissors beats papers, and papers beat rocks. Alright, you got it?
Yes, I'm ready.
Alright, 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, man, I thought you didn't know how to play. 1, 2, 3. Come on, man. Like, I thought you didn't know how to play this game. Like, explain me, how can you win every time?
I can explain why I win every time.
Yeah.
I lie.
You lied to me?
Yeah, but it's not a big deal. I pretended not to know the rules so that while you were explaining them, I was actually scanning your facial expressions and hand movements.
Whether you choose violence or not, violence is coming to you. You either fight back or you die. You either fight back or you die. And that's the truth.
Today, Elon, I think the British public are telling the world that they're ready to fight back.
Good. Yes.
Come on, Rayburn.
Todas las problemas es político. Não kan iets voor als je niet voor heet en pertwit spoelbaar op afstemming. En wat je wat staat, ik heb in de wijze video. Kun je lopen gewoon zijn die komen ook met de toer en nee, deze week is dat maar dat is fijn.
Only standing in the elevator, and for some reason, this dude comes and puts on a helmet. She does too. But then, another dude comes in, and he puts on a helmet. Now, you'd assume this gentleman's of reasonable intelligence, but he sees what they're doing, then look what his ass does. Looking confused as hell, he puts on the helmet as well. Now, the reason why this video should scare you is that the majority of people, 99% of people, make their decisions just like this dude. They look around and they see what everybody else is doing, and then they do it. And the truth is, most people don't even know what they're doing. So there's two major lessons you could get from this footage. One, be careful about who you're around because you're gonna end up doing what they're doing. And two, the smartest thing you can do is think for yourself, or you end up doing stupid shit like this dude right here.
Horror movies and fantasy movies aren't just them acting. Some of them are reenactments. Reenactments of real rituals, real symbols, real chants. The directors, they don't even hide it though. In the movie Hereditary, they used a real demon sigil. For the filming of Doctor Strange, they hired a witchcraft consultant. In the movie The Craft, they used actual Wiccan spells. And movies like Eyes Wide Shut are based on actual documented occult practices, not fiction like it seems. Why do they do this? Because they want it to feel real. They want the atmosphere to be authentic. But here's what they won't tell you. Every time a ritual is performed, even if it's presented to you as art, it is still a ritual. It still invites spirits. It still opens doors. And it creates bondage with the viewer. Some people wonder why they feel anxious, sick, or even spiritually attacked after watching certain movies. It's because your soul just sat through a ritual your spirit did not consent to.
If you take off your bra and your boobs drop so low they're practically shaking hands with your waist, take magnesium citrate. If your vagina smells like a sewer, take magnesium orotate. If your belly is bigger than a 7-month pregnant woman's, take magnesium carbonate. The best magnesium to use for sleep is magnesium glycinate. If you're constantly bloated, you need magnesium carbonate. If you have painful indigestion, you need magnesium oxide. If you have muscle cramps, you need magnesium taurate. If you feel tired all the time, you need magnesium malate. Magnesium is responsible for over 400 functions in our body, but more than half the population has low levels, and it doesn't even show up on standard blood tests. Now here's the problem. Buying all of these separately gets expensive and worse. You'd need to measure and take them all every single day. That's exactly why I recommend this powerful solution to my patients. It's called Magnesium Complex, and it combines 12 different forms of magnesium, including these all-in-one formula. In the right amounts, it has no sugar and no gluten, just 1 capsule a day, and it does all the work for you. You'll sleep better, wake up with more energy, feel less stressed, relax your muscles, prevent cramps, improve gut health, and enjoy greater mental clarity throughout the day. But be careful though. Not every cheap store brand magnesium is worth your time. This complex has 12 absorbable forms, 0 fillers, 0 junk. I've already recommended it to all my patients, and they always come back 2 weeks later to thank me. The only issue, every time I talk about this openly, it sells out fast. I'll ask my team to drop an orange button in the lower left corner of the screen. If you still see an orange shop icon, that means it's still in stock.
In the Bible, it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. But then day 41 came and the rain stopped. Moses committed murder and then hid in the desert for 40 years. Year 41 came and God called him to rescue Israel. Moses went up to the mountains for 40 days. On day 41, he received the 10 Commandments. The Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. Year 41, they walked into the Promised Land. Goliath taunted Israel for 40 days. Day 41 came, and David defeated him. Jonah preached a message of repentance to Nineveh for 40 days. On day 41, God stopped his plan to destroy them. Jesus fasted and was tempted for 40 days. Day 41, and the devil fled. After his resurrection, Jesus appeared to his disciples for 40 days. On day 41, he ascended into heaven. So what's the takeaway of all of this? The rain will stop. The giant will fall. And you will enter your promised land. So long as you don't give up on day 40. Your 41 is coming.